I've met some writers who, they told me that they don't have some, not so many pleasant things to say about some publishers.
Okay.
When it comes to maybe in terms of the demands, okay, what's the percentage of whatever it is that you're going to publish for me if you have my manuscript, or in terms of royalties. Some say the royalties are not rolling in the way they should. And so some people have their manuscripts and, some will be going just up and down, approach this one, approach that one. At the end of the day, nobody's publishing that story.
It's a challenge, really, because like in every field, you find good, average, and poor. I don't know very many. I can't even imagine any publisher putting their weight behind a book that won't sell, because that's a loss of income and a waste of time, frankly. But what a decent publisher should do is to take that poorly written manuscript and help them build, teach them what it is to make it a better manuscript. That's on the side of the publisher. Now, on the side of the author, even if you fail and you're rejected 10 times, keep on trying. There must be something they're not finding in that manuscript that you can put in. Go back and do it again until you get it right. It's impossible for you. It's just like in the music industry. You do a demo and you go to the producers and you get there and it's not good enough and they chuck it. You go to another producer who may like it, and you may go to 10 who don't like it. Go back to the studio and do it again. That's the same thing with publishing.
So that's for those who perhaps are going, still looking for who to publish their stories. What about the case of royalties? Because I actually did a story on, Nigerian writers, and I could feel, there are concerns in that respect.
Yes, I'm a writer as well as a publisher, and I can imagine that after having put so much work into a book, you need to be paid and compensated adequately, and it depends on the speed with which you sell your books, which goes back to marketing and distribution. If you don't sell, you can't get royalties, but if you sell, you will get royalties. You should get royalties. So I don't know many publishers. I don't even want to know many publishers or any publishers who don't pay royalties, who outright don't pay royalties. I've heard of a few.
Or don't pay as and when due, or don't pay, the complete amount that you need to pay.
You see, another thing is, depending on what agreement you come to with your publisher, between the publisher and author, it depends on what percentage it is, depending on what percentage the publisher has put in or the author has put in. And again, sales, it's the three of it combined that is the three of them combined that will give you, royalties. Do you understand? And if it is quarterly or 3 times a year, it depends on the sales as at the time that your royalties are due that you will get. Do you see what I'm saying? So I would hate to think that there are people that would hold back royalties when.
So how do you view Nigerian writers?
I think there's so much talent out there. I'm excited. I think the next crop of Chinua Achebes, Ngugi wa Thiong'os in Africa, I think that they're here. At least from our Writers' Prize, I find that there's a lot of talent that needs to be tapped and encouraged to come out. I'm very eager to see the next rise of fresh authors.
Okay, you said earlier, no publisher wants to go near any manuscript that won't sell because, of course, you don't want to.
Oh, that's poorly written.
Poorly written. So, what do you look out for? If I'm a writer and I come with my manuscript, before you publish, what do you look out for?
I try not to go near topics that are redundant with nothing new or catching, for starters. What don't I look for style. New style is always very good. I look for the voice, if it's a unique type of voice. I'm talking about a bestseller here. It's not to say that I wouldn't publish, if you don't tick all the boxes. But then style, pace, interest, public interest, and if it's information that people need to get. If I get lucky and I get a manuscript like that, oh my goodness, I'm excited.
You mentioned earlier about the challenges of printing in Nigeria. I hear some publishers take the book outside of the country to print. That is cheaper.
It is cheaper because paper is cheaper there. And so when you do volume, they can get it done in X amount of weeks, whereby we are dealing with not as great machinery as they have out there, and they're dealing with a variety of paper that's cheaper. So yes, it can end up being cheaper. But by and large, we like to encourage
because that's not helping
Nigeria.
Our economy in any
It's
way.
not helping our economy. You'll find a huge percentage of our books are printed here in Nigeria because, again, a lot of people want it right now. And it takes a longer period when you're bringing it in. But I'll be very honest, the profit is larger when you bring it in, if you're doing volume.
Okay, quickly, as we wind down, give us 1, 2, 3 steps for someone is watching us now and is saying, okay, I have this manuscript or I want to write this story. What should the person do to ensure that the person will come out with a great manuscript?
Be very sure about what it is you want to write. Be sure what style you want to use. Be sure what tone that you want to use. Pen down your thoughts, irrespective of whether you feel you can write. You can get help as well from us, but put down your thoughts, put down your points, and go to a reputable publisher. There are quite a few out there. You'll find a lot of help and guidance from most publishing houses that will hold your hand and see your vision to fruition.
Thank you so much for coming on Channels Book Club today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. We wish you all the best.
Thank you. And I'm waiting for your story.
I'll write one.
Good.